right. I've hijacked the podcast here.
But if you would have saw me play that 9 holes after my 1 under, you would have thought I just went to Walmart, picked up clubs, and this is the first time I went to a golf course.
That's how it goes.
Not 300 rounds in after 3 years.
No.
We were like, dude, this is your first time, right? Because the guy I was in the cart with, a good friend of mine, he was like, we were both kind of quiet as I was playing that 9 holes, because he's like, holy shit, man. It's like every fairway green 2-putt par, fairway green 2-putt par.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a bogey. Next hole, like birdie. You're back to even. You know, fairway green 2-putt par. He's like, man, this is something else. Then we make that turn, and my first tee shot on number 10 was like, he's like, oh, that's all he said was, oh.
There it is.
And
he's back.
I did not recover from that. Oh,
yeah.
For the next 9 holes. It was so funny because we were playing, and it was one of our tournament days, and so the group behind us was in the tournament, was in our event day, and when we made the 9, you know, they shouted over, so where are you at, right? And kind of like, I didn't really say anything, and Clark said, you know, yeah, he's 1 under. So everybody's like, ooh. So then when we come around, we wait for him on 18. Yeah, to tell him I just went and shot 12 over for 9 was pretty tough. It was painful. And then I had to drive home going, wow, man, you really pooped the pooch on that one.
Yeah. Well, that's funny.
Again, the difference between a 2.7 handicap and a 14-15, right? It was like, you know, I shot 11 over after going 1 under.
Well, I've been there. So many. I've been there. With this round I was telling you about, my coach was with me. And this was the second time I had played with him. The first time I played with him, I think he shot a 69 at this same course from the tips. He was like, I don't feel like I'm playing good. This day we tied, and I was excited. We both shot 1 over par. I was super, super excited about it. He was all mad. And no, I shouldn't say mad. He was just kind of like, I didn't play good. You know, I did not play. And I'm like, man, I played the best I've ever played except 1 shot. And I couldn't even find that shot, you know, but the frustrating thing was I didn't hit a bad shot. I hit what I wanted to hit and hit it well, and I just couldn't find the ball. And it was so infuriating. But the thing is that after that round, the next round I played at Wasatch, a gorgeous course. I played it with Melosi. It's just so pretty. And I played lights out. I had a couple bogeys on the back, and I had a double bogey on the back, and I still shot 2 over par. And I'm like, man, I'm playing good. I was making lots of birdies, and I just felt really good. Next round I played back at Thanksgiving Point, shot 2 over par. I'm like, man, I'm feeling really good. Go to Texas and play a course I've never played, shot 3 over par. I'm like, things are feeling really good, and then snow hits.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, in the last 2 months, I thought I would have played 10 more times. I played 4 more times. And each of those were like a sub 76 and feeling really good. And then winter comes. And now we wait till March or April.
Yeah. Is sim golf big where you are?
There's a lot of it. Yeah, there's a lot of it. I don't do a lot, to be honest. A couple reasons. One, just I feel like I don't enjoy it as much as I do playing a real round of golf.
I hear you.
And it's like if I'm not really enjoying it, I'm not going to pay. And a lot of them here, like I know you mentioned, they have hourly up where you're at. We do have some of those, but really here it's like a membership and it's a monthly fee, and they're like $200 to $500. And I'm like, I'm not going to spend $200 to $500 a month at this phase of life to do something I don't love to do, which is just hit balls into a screen.
Yeah.
I know I can work on things, but if I really want to practice and work on things, I've got my buddy who's this coach can let me into his simulator and we work on things. And, you know, that to me is much more up my alley than it is playing a course virtually on a screen.
I agree with you there for sure. I know and again, for me, it always seems like the simulator, and I've played a few, that my game that I play out on a golf course doesn't translate to the simulator.
Yep.
I I played in a league last year, and I had a tough time off the tee box.
Yep.
It didn't matter how hard I hit the ball, what I did, I couldn't get more than 220 off the tee box.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? I could hit my 3-wood, what I could hit my driver on these sims.
You and I are playing at what's your elevation where you're at? Because where I'm at's about 4,600 feet.
You got to throw that at me now. I have no idea.
I was just curious because I know like the thing that was hard for me with simulators when it's like I was playing on a simulator at sea level, and I'm used to hitting my 6-iron 210 yards, right? That's my 6-iron, and then I play on the simulator and I go 190. I'm like, how's it going? And then they're like, oh, it's sea level, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And I guess in my head I knew that altitude made a difference, but I've never really played golf outside of Utah. I played a little bit, but really it's just been around here, and so altitude's always been pretty constant for me. So elevation, altitude, whatever you call it. But when I played on the simulator, that took me a minute, just trying to figure that out. And then when I'm hitting a 190 shot and I'm hitting a 6-iron instead of an 8 or a 9-iron, or not a 9-iron, 7 or an 8-iron, it's not stopping on the simulator. It rolls off the green, and I'm like, well, in real life, that thing's sticking on the green. Like, that's how it is. So yeah. And then putting on them is like,
putting is a different animal too. I mean, I suck at putting to begin with, but we play. You can set it up to where you play gimmies inside of 5 foot. Yeah. It's got to be, because we're not putting it in.
That's how I have a friend that's like, you have to putt it out, and he can do it. He's good at it. I'm like,
it's just like a video game, right? It's a video game, and if you learn how to play the video game, you can play it. Because that's in my mind. It's like, well, it's not really golf; it's just a video game.
Yeah,
if you learn how to play the video game, you can play it. But I'm out there trying to play golf with it, right? Yeah. Again, that's just my feeling, right?
Yeah, this friend's like, oh, dude, it's the same as putting on a green, and I'm like, I don't know what, I just cannot. I'll like tap something and it flies past the hole, and I'm like, I don't know how this thing works. Like I just don't. And he gets up there and makes putts from 15, 20 feet on the simulator, and I'm like, all right, well, I don't know.
Not happening.
Yeah.
Not happening. So, all right, pal. So let's get into the gear now.
Yeah.
So let's do a rundown. What's in the bag?
Love it. I am a diehard Mizuno guy.
Too bad Chris is not here, because he's a Mizuno guy. He's top to bottom Mizuno.
I am a part of the problem, I am the Colt Mizuno guy. So kind of a cool background there. When I was in high school, my dad bought a brand new set of MP37 blades, Mizuno blades. They were beautiful. And he was a pretty good golfer at the time. I want to say he was a high single-digit handicap, probably not quite good enough to play blades all the time, but good enough to hit them well a lot, right? So he got to where he was playing with them pretty well, but just wasn't loving it that much. And so he bought new clubs and gave them to me. And at this point, like I said, I was a baseball kid, so I didn't play a lot. We were members at a private club growing up. And man, I wish I took advantage of that, and I didn't. But because I didn't want to ruin my baseball swing. That's a bunch of BS that I could tell you another story on. It doesn't ruin your baseball swing. In fact, your baseball swing helps your golf swing if you do it right. But that's another story for another time. But he gave me these blades, and he was just like, if you can learn to hit these, you'll be a good golfer. And I played those blades until June of this year. I played them for 11 years, and I loved them. I absolutely loved them. And to me, it just became, this is what I want to do. And late last year, I bought PXG blades because they were on sale on Black Friday. And I would put them away after 9 holes and grab my Mizuno blades out of the trunk for the second 9. And I'd shoot 7 or 8 over on the front, and I'd shoot 1 under on the back. Just like, give me my Mizuno. So I sold the PXGs right away, went back to the blades. But then it kind of became obvious to me, I want something a little bit newer. I kind of want to try something with a little bit of the tech in it, something beyond just a blade. But I want something to look like a blade. I want it to feel like a blade when I hit it. I just want it to go a little higher and a little farther, right? So I went through the whole gambit, tried everything, was really close to pulling the plug or pulling the trigger and getting some Srixons. And I tried the Mizuno Pro 225s. And you may or may that's their hot metal blade is what they call it. So it looks like a blade at a dress, and the back looks like a pure muscle back. But it's got the hollow body. Like they're pretty much like TaylorMade's P770s. I think they're very similar. And man, I just loved them. They felt like my blades did as far as the feel goes. But man, I was hitting them so high, so far, and I'm like, oh, so perfect. So I pulled the trigger on those and got those. And I was using an old Titleist 913, so a 10-year-old Titleist driver. Loved it because the shaft in it was amazing, and it was a gift from a family friend, and I got my use out of that thing. I was hitting it well, but then it started to sound a little bit weird in May, and I was like, I think it's going. And so I went and tried everything, and I was almost certain I was going to buy the Stealth. I was just hitting it really well. My dispersion was low. It was forgiving. Distance was pretty good. And guy's like, why don't you hit the Mizuno driver? And I'm like, I'm a Mizuno guy, but in my mind, I'm like, no one plays a Mizuno driver. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm good. But I hit it on the simulator, and I don't like hitting on simulators either. But I was smoking them. And they were straight, and they were longer than the Stealth by like 20 yards. And I'm like, there's no way. So I have a Mizuno guy, and I texted him, and he's like, oh, yeah, I got it for you for $200. I'm like, $200 for the brand new driver? He's like, yeah, dude, no one wants them. You can have it for cheap. Bought it, and it's been the best freaking purchase I've made. I love that club. I hit it straight, I hit it high, and I hit it long. And I love that thing. So I got a Mizuno STZ 220 driver. I have the Hazardous blue extra stiff shaft in it. I love the blue shaft because it's got some flex in the middle, but the stiffness are in the ends. And so it has a little bit of a lighter feel than the black. Love that shaft. My 3-wood's still my old 913 fairway wood Titleist. So I have a Titleist 3-wood and a Titleist 2-iron, driving iron, the U505 utility iron. And, you know, that club, I when I hit it well, I hit it really well. When I don't hit it well, it's straight, but just doesn't feel great. It's kind of chunky. That one might be the first club to be replaced. Love it. I really do. But if I'm going to hit a driving iron, why don't I just buy the Mizuno one to match everything else? So I'm probably going to do that. Then I have the 225s, Mizuno Pro 225s, 4-3 pitching wedge. My gap, I have Mizuno wedges, which was another new purchase this year. I got the blue ones.
Oh, nice.
Don't buy them.
No,
They're sweet. They're sweet. But the blue will be gone in your first round. Like one sand shot, my 58 was done. Like it was like the grooves are still really nice. They perform great. Don't get me like it's not a performance. It's just a style issue. The blue fades immediately. My dad has the same wedges, but in copper, and his look brand new. And he's played as much as I have this year, but his look brand new. Mine do not look even close to new. So then I do 50, 54, 58 in the Mizuno Ion blue wedges. I like them, but I'll get something new probably in the next year or two. And then my putter is my trusty putter. I'm not replacing it until there's a reason to. I'm hoping there never is a reason to, but it's kind of a sentimental club to me. My wife bought it for me when we were our first year married. We were poor college kids, and we agreed that we were not going to get each other gifts, at least not gifts that cost a lot of money. And I didn't know this, but she had been saving some money aside and from her job that she was working to put me through school. And she bought me this Odyssey 07 O-Works putter. It's a mallet. It's one that I had mentioned in passing at Dick's Sporting Goods a year before that. And she remembered it, and she went and bought it. And I love that thing. I put 3 new grips on it. That's all I've done. And I love that thing. I putt well with it. When I travel, I wrap it in like 4 blankets. this thing is not breaking. So that's my putter, and I'll probably use that until it breaks one day, and I hope it doesn't, but you never know. So that's my what's in the bag. I'm a big Snell guy, Snell Golf, the balls.
Yep.
I struck a deal with them this year. Was super excited about that. So I'm a Snell athlete. What that means is they sponsor me for my golf balls. So I play the Snell MTB Prime. That's like their version of a Pro V1. So Dean Snell was the guy that Titleist contracted to build the Pro V1. And then when his non-compete was done there, I think he went to TaylorMade and built the TP5. And then when his non-compete was done there, he created his own direct-to-consumer ball, the Snell ball. And, I can't say enough good things about that golf ball. It's long, it's durable, its spin is amazing, and the value's through the roof. If you have to pay for them, 34 a dozen. It's a lot better than 55. And I just love them. So that's the ball that I use. And, I have a Vessel bag, which I did not have until a couple months ago, and holy crap, they make a golf bag.
I'm a Wilson guy, so again, I'm kind of old school. So when I got into golf, it was my story goes back to the first time I ever picked up a club when we were traveling across Canada, moving out here. We went to this golf course, never played before, and I played Wilson golf clubs, and it just stuck in my head that if I ever played golf, if golf was ever going to be a thing, that I didn't know it was going to be a thing back then, I was going to play Wilson clubs.
That's awesome.
I wanted Wilson. So I've got the Wilson staff bag back there, my other Wilson bag back there. I'm playing Wilson D7 irons.
Love it. Wilson's such an underrated brand. I
like it. I like it because not a lot of people do use it.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to switch, that's down the road. I'll think about that at the time. But I like my TaylorMade woods. I play a TaylorMade R9 driver, TaylorMade R9 3 wood. I've got a TaylorMade burner 5 wood in the bag. So my woods are all TaylorMade. I've got a Cobra 6 hybrid. That was a game changer for me when I first started using it.
Yeah.
And I actually play the Kirkland wedges.
Yeah.
And
they're great.
They're great.
They're so great. I've got a good friend that uses them, and I've got another friend that has the putter, and both of them.
I've tried the putter.
Both of them rave about them, and I hit his wedges a couple times. I'm like, these feel like a Vokey. They really do. They look like one at a dress. They feel like they're a little lighter than a Vokey, I feel like, but man, great equipment. I'm excited to see the driver hit the shelves.
Well, and I saw a picture, so I'm pretty sure, because I think I did a video on it, but they're coming out with an iron set as well.
Yeah. I think they're pretty much like, I think they're trying to, looks wise, they look kind of like a Callaway, I think. No, they look like a P790. That's
closer, because I saw the only thing I've seen a picture of the 4-iron.
Yeah.
I think that's all I've seen. But have you ever played the Kirkland balls?
Yeah, I played them a lot up until probably I played them. I feel like from 2019 to 2021. It's like that kind of couple year period. I wasn't super into golf. I loved it, but I wasn't playing a ton yet. My only problem with the Kirkland ball is I can't hit it as far. I don't think it goes as far, and if I'm hitting them well, they only last 3 shots. They break. So, but they feel really nice.
We're so new into golf, and personally myself, so the last 3 years, I have pretty much tried as many different golf balls as I could possibly get my hands on.
Yeah.
Everything. I played Wilson Triad. I think I bought a couple of boxes of Wilson Triads. Played those. I like those. I played the Kirklands. I've got a supplier, somebody who gives me Pro V1s. That's what I play now, and I don't have.
It's hard to
don't have to pay for them, right? So if you don't have to pay for them, you're going to play them, right?
Once you've played a Pro V1, it really is hard. I get some people have different preferences, but if you just really have hit them all, and you play enough golf to kind of feel the difference between balls, it's hard to want to hit anything besides a Pro V1, which is why I was so excited when I got this deal with Snell, because it's the only ball I have found that truly feels like a Pro V to me. And it makes sense. The same guy who designed it. This is the guy who designed, it's the same ball.
I've seen the Snell around, and I think I actually follow Snell on the socials, but I don't know. I've never really looked into getting any, trying them, but maybe that's something down the road that I can get into and try that as well.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is like a tour caliber golf ball for $32 to $34 a dozen. And it's just like, and that's if you only buy 1 dozen. If you buy them in bulk, it's even cheaper. It's kind of like Vice, very similar pricing.
Chris played Vice. I think the first year we played, Chris played Vice golf balls.
Yeah, they're a good ball. I like those too. So, yeah, that's fun. So that's my what's in the bag. A lot of Mizuno and a couple Titleist things, and the Titleist things will be fading out here soon. My 3-wood's starting to die a little bit.
That's my favorite club in the bag is my TaylorMade 3-wood R9. That's my, if I'm not hitting my driver well, that's my go-to.
Yeah,
and it serves me well off the tee box, off the fairway. It's just that's my baby.
Yeah, that's good. Got to have a favorite club.
Yeah,
I'm a little unfortunate because my favorite club's a putter. Like, I don't have a go-to club if I'm on the course. Like,
I'm still in the process, even after our third season here. I'm still looking for that putter, the putter that I'm going to put in the bag and leave there. And And again, I'm an old school guy. I like vintage stuff. So when I first started playing, when I first picked this up, and we first started playing, I played the entire first season with this one.
That is sweet.
So I don't know if you can read it there, but it's a Tommy Armour Silver Scott.
Yep.
So I played dude. I mean, I like that old. I like the old stuff.
Yeah.
So I played that, but then it's kind of like, okay, maybe you need to update a little bit because your putting sucks anyways. So then I started rotating putters through the bag, and I still haven't really found anything that I like. Again, aesthetically, standing over it, looking down at it, you like, and you have that confidence.
Yep.
Looking down and going, yes, okay, this looks good. I like what I'm looking at. I can make this, right?
Yeah.
I think now I'm using this year I played with this Nike Method.
That's a good putter. I have a Nike Method 4 blade. It's a putter Tiger used in 09. I've got that one. I don't play it, but I've got one. And then I've got if you're a vintage guy, this is a cool putter. I have a Spalding blade. I'm trying to remember. Kind of cool. I bought it from a guy off Facebook Marketplace for $10 just because it looked cool. And I had got some new tools, and I was kind of wanting to refurbish it and kind of, just make it look nice. So anyways, I went on eBay to look up what they were worth, and it's worth like $400.
Nice.
So then I messaged the guy I bought it from, and I'm like, hey, I bought this from you a few weeks ago for $10. Just so you know, I just looked it up on eBay, and it's worth a few $100s. If you'd like it back, let me know. I'm happy to return it to you. He's like, oh, dude, no worries. I'm good. I don't need it. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, trust me, you can have it. So I've got this really cool, and it's in good shape already. It's kind of like a gunmetal black, almost like not black, but that gunmetal charcoal gray color that's hard to tarnish. Like, it doesn't chip really well. So it's in good shape. Has the original Spalding grip on it. It doesn't look like it's really even been used. But it just, with a little bit of touch up and some new fill-in paint on the bottom, the thing would look so sharp. And it's worth probably $300 to $400. It's a cool putter.
Cool. So, seeing where your handicap is now, I'm going to ask you this question. I know you're, again, young family, and for us, the crew that I play with, our buddies either don't have kids, or like me and Chris, our kids are old enough now to where they don't need mom and dad anymore, and now it's time to find something to go do. And so you got 2 little ones, but seeing where your handicap is, so are you going to be playing any tournament golf? Like, is that a route that you would, do down the road or even now?
Yeah, yes. I'll say this, it's kind of, my experience in tournament golf has gone very poorly. It's just a different animal. It really is. I feel like it's going to take some mental training for me to kind of get to a point where like I can understand how to approach a tournament. But back in 2021, I tried to qualify for the Utah State Amateur, which is a pretty big tournament. There's a lot of good golfers here in Utah, and so if you make the cut to get into if you just qualify to get into the amateur, you're a good golfer. And I was playing pretty good at the time. I think my handicap was like a 4, and so in my mind, I was thinking, and the cutoff was projected to be, I want to say, at 76, and it's just one 18-hole round. And I was like, if I go out and play good golf, I can shoot a 75 or 76 and maybe do this. And it all went to heck on the first tee shot. I got up there and it was a long par 5. We had to carry water if you were going to hit a driver, or you could kind of lay up right out to a fairway. And I'm like, I hit driver well. It's my best club in the bag. So I hit driver, and we got up there thinking I'd be in the fairway, and we couldn't find it. And the rules guy's like, yeah, you went in the water. I'm like, what? Man, I thought I hit that straight. I didn't. It went in the water. Had to go back and re-tee and hit it in the water again. And then I hit a 4-iron out to the fairway, and I think I got a 9 on the first hole. And I was just like, oh, and then that was in my head like the rest of the round, right? And it was just bad. It was really bad. I got through 9 holes. I think I shot a 53 on the front 9, like really, really bad. And then I shot 2 under par on the back. So my dad was like, just have fun. Like, you're out of it. Like, my dad was my caddy, and we just had fun, and I played really good. So I kind of went out of the experience saying, well, I learned to just relax, and who cares, and have fun. The next year I entered just a normal tournament at a course, and it was kind of cool. They had like an app. You could see live time where everyone was at score-wise while you were playing. And through like 13 holes, I was in like 3rd place. I was 2 under par. And for me, like at that point in a round, that's pretty rare that I'm that low. And then I kept playing really good golf until 18. And on 18, there was this long, skinny pond along the right side of the fairway. But I didn't know it was there. I never played this course before, and I should have just taken the time to like look at the scorecard or study the course or something. So I got up and I hit a high cut with a driver thinking I'm going to be in great shape. And they're like, oh, I hope that's not in the water. And I'm like, what water? I got up there and it was in the water. And then I had to drop behind the water and hit another one in the water. And I was like, oh, so then that didn't go well. My 3rd and final tournament that I did was this year, and it went equally as bad. At a course, I play really well, and I just fell apart. And I didn't hit any bad shots. I just couldn't putt, which, if you know me, is really weird. Like, anything inside of 2 feet was not gimme material. I missed like 5 or 6 putts inside 2 feet. And that was a humiliating thing because the group in front of me was a friend, or I'm not sure I'd call him a friend, but a kid I grew up with who I was trying to prove that I was better than he was. And turns out he played just as bad, and we both shot in the 90s. Like, it was just rough. And my dad's like, maybe tournament golf isn't for you. But since those experiences, I'm more determined than ever to kind of get into tournament golf and learn how to play my game in a tournament setting. Because I think that if I can just have fun, when I'm actually competitive with somebody, I play better golf. Like when I'm playing with my coach, I play better because I'm trying to chase him. And when I play with my other friend who's scratch, or I play with Melosi, who's a +1 or +2, I'm chasing them and I'm playing well. And I know that really tournament golf is just that. So I just need to kind of mentally get there. I'm hoping that this off season I can kind of frame my mindset to think that way. And for the first time next year, I'm going to kind of hit like a tournament schedule. I've mapped out a few that I'm going to hit. I'm not telling anyone that I'm going to them. I'm not posting about it on my social media, and I'm just going to show up and play golf. And I'm hoping that I just see improvement next year. My real goal would be that, I don't know, probably 2 to 3 years from now, I'm able to qualify for the state amateur and go out and just play my golf game in a round of golf where other people are competing for what I'm competing for. So, yes, it's in the works. I don't think if there's anything I've learned about golf in the last couple of years, it's that no matter how good I get at golf, I'm probably not, it's not in my cards to move beyond anything other than a good amateur golfer. And I'm not going to become a PGA professional. I'm not going to become a Q Tour guy. I'm not Q School guy. I'm not going to go on Corn Ferry for sure. And I'm sure as heaven's not making the tour. So, and if people think that they can get there and they're at my phase of golf, I don't mean to be the Debbie Downer, but they can't. They're not going to, especially if they have a full-time job like I do.
Yeah. Golf is hard, man. That's our number one. That's our number one rule. Mulligans and Hackers rule number one. Golf is hard.
Yeah, it's absolutely hard. In fact, it's downright impossible to master.
Yeah. So, yeah, I figured that out. But for people like us, and we'll say like me and Chris and our crew, getting into it this late, I mean, there's no expectations other than we just want to play the game.
Yeah.
Right? Playing the game just gives us so much joy.
It's so fun.
It's so much fun just to go with your buddies. And even road trips, like, we do half a dozen road trips a year where guys just pile in the car, throw the clubs in, we're gone for an hour, a couple hours, go play around. I mean, me and Chris, we went to Rolling Hills, played 18, had lunch, got on the road, drove back to Bull Island, which was like another hour, played 18 there, and then came home.
That's awesome.
Dude, beat that.
As far as it gets, you can't beat that. To me, what I love is if in the summer, I'll get home from work 5:30, and my favorite thing has been my wife will just come sit in the cart with me. We'll go play 9 holes. And just like the mindset that it puts me in, just like whatever I'm dealing with, whatever is heavy on my mind, I'm able to get clarity on that thing when I'm playing golf, and I'm still relaxed doing it. That's the fun. That's the fun part. And I can just talk to my wife and have a really good time chatting with her while we're playing. And, she'll hit a shot here and there and just have fun, but we're just shooting the breeze. Or, I work with my dad, which is cool. But when him and I are, taking a client to go play some golf, and I get to ride in the cart for 4.5, 5 hours with my dad and just put aside business, put aside whatever else it is that we have on our minds, and just have that father-son time. There's no other activity that you can do. I grew up riding dirt bikes and playing baseball and stuff. Those are all fun things you can do with family, but you don't have that uninterrupted talking time like you do in golf. And I love it. Yeah. I could play with anybody and enjoy it because you just get to know someone and their true self when you're playing golf with them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I found that out this year. I played with more different people this year than I ever have.
Yeah.
And I'm not a very outgoing person when I'm kind of an introvert. So it takes a long time for somebody to get to know me and get into my bubble. But one of the steps forward for me this year was me and Chris played 9 holes with a guy last year. And it was just kind of a random, we just played 9 holes and he went off and did his thing. I went down to play around this year, and pulling up to the first tee was this guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, Alvin, how are you? And I'm like, hey man, how's it going? I didn't know his name, but
yeah.
I was like, yeah. He's like, you want to go out? I'm like, you're going out now? He's like, yeah, okay, man. So we went and played 18.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like, we played 9 holes the year before, but because we're at the golf course, it was like we played 100 rounds together.
Yeah. That's like you've known each other your whole life.
We grew up together.
Yeah.
What a wild game, man. It is a wild game.
It really is. And the other thing too is like one thing I really feel about golf is if I'm on the fence about somebody, it's especially in business. Like I said, I play a lot of golf for a business setting. Like if I'm on the fence about someone and not sure who they are or what kind of caliber of person they are, I take them golfing, because within a matter of a hole or two, you can kind of
You'll be exposed.
What kind of person they are.
You will get exposed big time.
If they're honest and integral about the game and treating it with respect, then it's like I can like this person regardless of our differences from here on out. And that's what's cool about golf.
Yeah, man. I agree 100%. Well, buddy, I really appreciate you jumping on, and I'm pretty sure that we could just keep talking for another hour or two, and maybe down the road we'll have to do this conversation again, maybe when the season starts, and we'll reconnect. But I'm pretty sure we'll keep messaging each other on the socials anyways.
Yeah. And I'm just going to have to come up to Canada and come play some courses with you. And
hey, man, if you come to the Forgotten Corner, we'll get you into like every course we have here.
I love it. But I'm all for the small unknown courses, like you said. So
yeah, man. We got those little hidden gems that you would love.
Love it.
Now with your handicap, you might play them really well.
Well, we'll see. Like I said, I can go shoot 90s on a tournament day if I need to. So that's good.
All right, pal.
Well, I really appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. I appreciate your time, buddy. Take care. Okay.